Today we're going to go through the basics of Git and start with the internals. By the time you've completed this module, you'll know how to make commits confidently, how to get out of trouble, and how to parse the messages Git returns back to you, which is no small feat. And at the end of each module, there will be exercises for you to try using Git and GitHub on your own. When you're done with each exercise, there's a place for you to post screenshots and a reflection in the education community forum. And that's a fantastic place for you to post questions and take a look at best practices from other teachers. And you can find the education forums at education.github.community. So let's get started on the basics. And in teaching Git, I've learned that the best way to understand any individual command is to know how Git works holistically. So once you master the mental models we'll go through here, you'll be in a good spot to explore different workflows and choose what works best for your learning goals. So you might wonder, Vanessa, do I need to know this? And the answer is emphatically yes. It will save you a ton of time troubleshooting and help you guide your students out of sticky situations. So without further ado, meet Git. Git is a version control system. A version control system is essentially a tool that lets you track the progress of your project over time. When you're working by yourself, it's a historical record, so you can look back and see how you worked on something. Git takes snapshots, and you make that record by taking snapshots of your project as it evolves and saving it to your history. Version control lets other people stay up to date with what you did and retrace your steps. It also lets you work in parallel so multiple people can work on a project at the same time. And why is this different? Well, in previous version control systems like Subversion or other collaborative tools like Google Docs, even though it's not a version control system, there's a central server, and any change that I make is in sync with that server, and then with all of my collaborators as I make changes. So in centralized systems, I have to be connected to the internet, I have a copy of the code on my local machine, and whenever I make a snapshot, I save it to the server. And there might be contentions with order. And the order in which things happen is important. When we talk about versions of a project, we often use a numerical progression. Version 1, version 2, version 3. And if you have a centralized system, that works because you can objectively say, hey, John made a new version before Vanessa. So therefore, John's version is n+1 and Vanessa's is n+2. But if you don't have a network connection and you're not coordinated, there's no way to tell who should be n+1 and n+2 in real time. So Git goes after this idea of distributed version control, which allows you to work on your projects and take snapshots without coordination. So to get started, we're going to see if you have Git installed on the machine that you're working on. And I'm going to do that by typing git --version.